Hi. The Conversation is a 1974 movie directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Actually, it was his second, well, I don't know if I'd call it a big movie, but it was after his big hit, The Godfather. He made The Godfather in 1972, and it was distributed by Paramount Pictures. And Paramount was really, really excited about getting The Godfather 2 made. So what Coppola did, he effectively said, well, I'll make The Godfather 2, but one for you and one for me. I'll make it, but I really want you to do this passion project called The Conversation. It's something I thought of while I was in film school and really tinkering with this, and I want you to make it. And they agreed. Now, Gene Hackman stars as Harry Cole, who's this master bugger. But he's kind of a paradox, a contradiction. He has no problem being a hacker for hire as long as he's telling other people's secrets. One thing he can't tolerate is really for anybody to know anything about his life. And we see that when he goes to visit his mistress's apartment, and she's played by Terry Garr. Harry, Gene Hackman, will go into the apartment complex. He'll peer down the stairs into the door into the apartment. He'll kind of cower there. He'll wait to see if anybody comes out. Then he'll quickly go down, insert the key, turn the lock, and open the door. And we think it's to catch Terry Garr with someone, with a lover. And he doesn't trust anybody. And she tries to find out just some information about him, just to have a relationship. And he refuses. He is very cold to her, and effectively ends the relationship because she can't live not knowing anything about this person. Now, he's not only close to the vest with Terry Garr, but also with his associates. And his assistant is Stan, who is played by the wonderful, wonderful actor John Cazale. You might remember Cazale from all the Godfather movies. He was Fredo. He was also in The Deer Hunter, and he was in Dog Day Afternoon. Basically, this guy never made a bad movie. Passed away from cancer in the 1990s, but a really wonderful, wonderful actor. And Stan wants to learn more about the secret world of secrets and asking Harry, well, can you let me in? Can you tell me about how you're doing this? And Harry refuses. He is so close to the vest. What that does, it forces Stan to jump ship and go to work for Harry's competitor, William Moran, who in Moran's own mind is the best bugger on the East Coast, and Harry's the best bugger on the West Coast. And Moran's in town in San Francisco for this buggers convention. And they get together after the convention and go to Harry's kind of a fortress of solitude. And Moran starts telling stories about Harry from when he was in New York. And one of the things that happened is there was this job that Harry was involved in, and it was about a person who was in charge of a pension fund, and he was having conversations on a rowboat with another person, and nobody could figure out how the conversation was recorded. But Harry did it. He recorded that. He turned it over to the person who hired him, and unfortunately, the target and his wife and children were murdered. And this nightmare really haunts Harry, and it really kind of colors how he does this big job for the director. The director is played by Robert Duvall. We don't know much about the director except he's married to Cindy Williams, and Cindy Williams was in American Graffiti and Laverne and Shirley, and she's taken on a lover who works in the same company as the director, and he's played by Frederick Forrest, who was chef in Apocalypse Now. And the director wants the actual words of their conversation. It's a really tricky recording. And it's done when they're walking around, walking in circles, circle, in Union Station in San Francisco. And it's a really heck of a job using the cutting edge 1974 technology, these parabolic microphones with shotguns. It's really pretty impressive at the time, and it would be even impressive now. Now The conversation happened at about the same time as Watergate, and many people say, oh, well, this was in response to Watergate, but the answer is not really. It was an idea that was conjured out of Coppola's head that he'd been thinking about, and just happened to be being made at about the same time. But we learn about buggers, and we learn about privacy, we learn about invasion of privacy in Watergate, and we always try to make those connections, but they really weren't related events, kind of serendipity that they happened about the same time. Now, the main purpose I have for showing this movie is to look at that concept of privacy. It's to say, how do we interpret other people's right to privacy? In the United States, we talk about the right to be left alone. We talk about the privacy of being in our own house. And we see the last scene with Gene Hackman about when his privacy has been invaded. And he descends into this kind of paranoia where he rips up the entire apartment trying to find the bug in the apartment, and he can't find it. He even looks inside the Virgin Mary statue that he has because he's very Catholic, and he breaks it apart and can't find any bug. Coppola, in his commentary to the movie, says that's the big question that's asked about the movie, The Conversation. Where was the hidden microphone? Where, how did they do it? And Gene Hackman in this movie plays a saxophone, and one of the theories is that perhaps the hidden microphone is inside this saxophone strap. Who knows? Coppola doesn't doesn't reveal the answer to that. Well, my main purpose of showing the movie again was looking at this question of privacy. Coppola's main purpose, he talks about, is this concept of repetition, and he'll use this one phrase: he'd kill us if he had the chance. He'd kill us if he had the chance. But it's not just repetition. It's repetition and misinterpretation. And we'll see how that plays out when you watch the movie. This is an interesting movie. It's the highest scoring Rotten Tomato movie that we have in the course. This got a 98 Rotten Tomato. Enron, The Smartest Guys in the Room, got a 97. Glengarry Glen Ross had a 94. They're all difficult movies, but they're all challenging and thoughtful, and that's the idea behind it. I hope you enjoy the movie and learn from it. This is The Conversation.